I have some major news coming out of New York City. Last night, the judge of the New York versus Donald Trump lawsuit concluded that Donald Trump had overvalued his properties and committed real estate fraud. The judge said he won't seek criminal charges against Donald Trump, but Trump will be fined potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. His business licenses will be immediately revoked, and a court-ordered controller will legally control and liquidate the Trump Organization assets in the state of New York. This is a major blow to Donald Trump, his family, and his organization. Now, the former president has denied the fraud and said this is a Trump-hating Democrat judge that has vocally expressed his vile hatred towards the Trump family. However, the judge has ruled that Trump's own documents were used as the evidence. The judge says banks allowed Trump to declare how much a property was worth in order to get loans and insurance coverage. Now, this is where a red flag went up for me. In my 41 years, I've never heard of commercial or real estate loans being given based off the word of the borrower. Now, I'll bet if you own a home and you're watching this, you've also never been able to get a car loan or a personal loan or a HELOC loan or even a primary residence mortgage loan without having to show your financials and having a third-party auditor come in and appraise and value the property and then prove that valuation based on comps in the area. So businesses and banks hate risk. So I don't know that they would just go off of Donald Trump's word without having third-party auditors come in and also appraisers determine the value of a property, not Donald Trump's word. Now, I'm going to put up Trump's response to this lawsuit that was posted on Truth Social. I'm not going to read these because they're long, and frankly, I do a terrible Donald Trump impression, but feel free to pause and read them for yourself. Now, many of the articles about this story were negative towards Trump and harsh towards his family. What's new, right? But one of the documents that the judge pointed out was Mar-a-Lago's valuation, and he valued that property at $18 million. And that made me do some digging because I know people that live in that area and their properties are $100 million, $50 million, $300 million. This is not a cheap area. Now, Mar-a-Lago is a giant resort and it sits on close to 20 acres of land with each side of the property touching the ocean. There are many areas many properties in this area that have homes going for 10 million, 39 million, 59 million. There's even an empty beach property that is $200 million. There's no pool, no house, no pool house, no garages, nothing, just raw land. Now, if you took the figures of these properties and this raw land and you times that out over the acreage of Mar-a-Lago, you would get a valuation between 1.47 billion and 1.72 billion, not 18 million. Now, the downside of Mar-a-Lago, in fairness, is that it can't be sold as an individual property, or it can't be partitioned off and developed. And so it's not going to ever be worth $1.72 billion, but it's certainly not worth $18 million. Now, Trump also pointed out that these loans have either been paid back or are in the process of being paid back, and none of them is delinquent or in default. Now, he has had bankruptcies in the past, but he's saying these loans are good and clear. So I don't know what the outcome of this massive state of New York versus Donald Trump lawsuit will be, but something isn't adding up when it comes to self-declared property values and banks not double-checking or doing appraisals on properties, just going off of Trump's word. But again, this judge used evidence that the Trump Organization provided, but it does look like he's significantly undervaluing the Trump Organization assets, and I've outlined just one of them today. Now, this is a developing story that I wanted to bring to you. I want to hear from you in the comments. I'm trying to be as fair as possible. Is Trump guilty and he lied? Is this people in New York angry that he made all of his money as a Democrat and then became a Republican? Is this election interference? Or is this justice playing out on a national scale? Let me know your thoughts down below.